I'm Maya Erin Masuda. I'm an artist, researcher, and curator based in London, Berlin, and Tokyo. My research interest lies in an intersection between queer theory and ecological practices, and by elaborately re-examining the contemporary geotrauma, I mean the ecological trauma that's been imposed to a particular ecological community, I try to create a sensual, affective, and spatiotemporal narrative which interweaves non-human, humans, and also beyond. Experimenting with the notion of skin and borders, this work, Listen to Your Wind, is a work in which I, an artist, and also an artificial intelligence together generate an alternative skin of an alternative imaginative land. So during the process, I collected 2,500 photographies of the skin of animals left behind in Fukushima and Chernobyl, which has been exposed to a high level of radiation. And also I collected 2,500 photographies of the satellite images of the land around the world, which has been exposed to a very significant historical pollutions. And I put those 5,000 images in total together into an artificial intelligence to create this kind of imaginative land, and I created a video based on that. The Borderers, this work, on the other hand, as you can see, is situated in between my actual experience during the research trip in Fukushima and the speculative skin that's been proposed by the film. The collections of archival material, as well as the imaginary maps and the poems on the table, speculates the gravity of our planet, which has been exposed to so many post-anthropocentric traumas. The fragments of imaginary land that could have existed elsewhere pose questions concerning Anthropocene, post-humanism, pain and queerness in the foreseeable future. I've been drawn to the concept and the notion of skin since it is very personal, physical, and emotional concept which interrogates the idea of proximity and intimacy, but at the same time it is the very boundary where the certain biopolitics that's been imposed by nation or government becomes the most evident. At the same time, I believe the video is at this collision point where somebody is very affectionate, deeply affectionate, gaze towards other people's skin, and also this very political satellite gaze from the above that's been originally created during the Cold War to more precisely kill people kind of converged. Therefore, I believe the film possesses this both sides of closeness and toxicity. So during the production process, I try to foster this eeriness of hidden aggressiveness, and as a queer new media artist, it's been always at the center of my research that how this kind of relationship between biopolitics, technology, and its relation to intimacy comes together in my research. So the original was I was engaged in this kind of research to create an alternative form of machines out of organic substances to kind of reconsider the entity of machine as something very organic and constantly responding to the environment. So I recreated the sculptural form of machines with tapioca, glycerin, and so many different organic materials to make it so fluid. And then I've been doing this project for a while, but then at some point my researcher colleague pointed out those skin of machinery that I create resembles uncannily skin of animals that left behind in many level of nuclear exposure site. So therefore, that was the turning point, and I started my research towards those genetic mutations and skin abnormalities of animals left behind in Chernobyl and Fukushima, as I said. These researchers and those collaboration with many different international animal research institutions came together as a whole in this body of work. Although I call myself as a new media artist, I've been very skeptical about this idea of purity and the utopian nature of technology for a long time. This is because as I become an aspiring scientist and as I get to know more about machine engineering and the history of technology behind it, I had to confront the fact that technology has developed in tandem with this kind of very political nature, such as you can see that satellite politics and satellite technology has developed during the Cold War to target on particular land, or the nuclear technology has developed to kill so many people and animals, after all. And I think if I were to call myself as a new media artist, I am just responsible for bearing witness of those wounds that's been imposed by the technology towards planet's body, and also land, and also animals and humans and beyond. I believe technology has always been political, and I believe it always will be. And the least I can do now is to resist those narratives, to purify the technologies, to say there isn't any politics in it, by collecting those small voices that really matters in our history.